Full house for you. Colin, good morning to you.
Hi, Ger.
Matthew, how are you?
Ger.
Arthur, what's the crack?
Not much.
So Cork City relegated last night.
Yeah,
in the 88th minute.
Yeah.
Winner for Jack Henry Francis. Told you he was good.
Yeah, he played that and he played the entirety.
Yeah,
so
which
it's
hasn't
great.
really happened.
It's something that you've been asking for a while. Cork City equalised relatively late on in this game as well.
Nice Shoney Maguire finish.
Really nice finish. Yeah, he's been playing very well lately, actually. And so I suppose we're trying to channel the Pats win in a recent Friday night there in the FAI Cup semi-final, but it wasn't to be. There was only 1,600 at this game, so there was a lot of empty seats and places in the shed even visible. So that was disappointing. But I suppose people didn't want to be there to see the inevitable happen, you know. There was a good old Shells contingent, but like Joey O'Brien's side are flying. After Friday night's victory against Shamrock Rovers, would have been easy to drop the gears a bit last night. And it was kind of hidden, this match, you know. This was a LOI TV number, so you had to have had that to watch it.
Was that Roy O'Hagan on commentary?
Would have been, yeah. Without even listening, it would have been, yeah. He's the LOI TV guy. So, like, for Irish viewers last night on TV, the easiest match to watch, if you had your standard channels here, would have been Northern Ireland against Germany, which itself, you know, we were talking about yesterday. And I'm sure we'll get into that about how well Northern Ireland played. Same scoreline as the Republic of Ireland lost to Germany, or lost to Portugal, that they lost to Germany last night, but in a very different manner. And so we can get into that. But for Cork City, yeah, it's a tremendously disappointing campaign. And would you believe, Ger, the last time that they stayed up, that they completed a season in the Premier Division, and the next season they competed in the same league was 2019.
Okay.
Which is only 2 years after they won the double.
Have they yo-yoed every time? Has there been...
They're up and down. It's 3 relegations in 6 years.
Right.
Wow.
So it's tremendously disappointing and a massive underachievement given the size of the club and the facilities that they have compared to others in the league. And look, there's money's been put into that club, but there certainly wasn't the anger or passion of the protests against Pats in the semi-final last night. Last night was a resignation of defeat.
If they were to win the cup...
Huge, yeah.
It would actually transform...
Massive. And I don't know, I was thinking, well, look, maybe the protest before Pats was a turning point, and it was like, okay, well, for some perverse and bizarre reason, we give Dermot Usher a bit more time of day here. Because the guy is trying, but he's lacking massively in the football side of it. Either way, they're back to the First Division next year, which is a disaster for more reasons than obvious, in that the last time they were in the First Division, they walked it. And there was apathy among the fans. And it's going to be another year of that.
Unless, of course, they have European football, in which case...
Huge. That's what I'm saying to you. It's huge, but it would be a monumental task. And as I said, I don't think that Cork City and Shamrock Rovers have competed in an FAI Cup final before. This is relatively new, but they'll have to channel that passion that they did against Pats to perform like they did. And that was a vulnerable Pats side who are susceptible to the odd stupid defeat. Wouldn't say the same about Rovers.
Pats are 6th now as things stand in the table, but Shell's win actually moves them up to 3rd, 2 points clear of Bowes, who they still have to play. They still have to play Pats, and they've got Sligo as well, who it'll be interesting to see, you know, what kind of a game that is. But that race for 2nd, 3rd, and potentially 4th is unbelievably important, because if, you know, Bowes obviously have doubled down, Alan Reynolds is coming back. We expect Derry City to stay the course with their management team. One of those teams won't be in Europe if Cork win. But they'll all get into Europe if Shamrock Rovers win. The difference between finishing 2nd and 3rd is obviously a slightly handier route into group stages in the Conference League. And it's a transformative moment for Shells to survive Duffer going and still be in Europe. But if they're not in Europe... It's like they've been losing, was it 2 million a year? This year they'll be much closer to break even. But then next year, without European football, it's like, So, so much riding on these next few games.
Probably some extra investment that came with qualifying for Europe as well. Some of the players that they got in, there'll be an added expense that they'll have to break even on in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, and obviously increased value from those players as well.
Yes,
so that's why, you know, somebody like...
Any idea what the numbers would drop down to in Cork, like in First Division week on week?
You're probably talking around what we saw last night.
Yeah.
It's low, and it'll be the ticket prices would be the issue, like, so it's €25 a pop for adults now.
You're not charging €25
do that in the First Division, sure.
Yeah, no one's going to
come back, lads, come back, we forgive you.
But I think it's €20 at Waterford, I think. Nearly sure. So I think it's marginally bigger than others, but because of their performance, it doesn't justify it.
No.
So it's tricky times. It's weird because there's a lot of interest in the club, but for negative reasons, but the interest suggests an element of passion.
Yeah.
Oh, they should be a Colossus, like.
It's a huge shame, and it's a waste, really. And it wasn't that long ago, like, you know, it was only 8 years ago they were flying it, absolutely flying it. And it very quickly went downhill after that year.
But maybe this is the bit where...
You can go the other side, you know. And the first, I was excited at the start of this season when we were doing our previews, and we had Tim Clancy on early when he was still the incumbent. And if you looked at Cork City's strongest team, like, geez, like, it was festooned with ability in the final third alone.
Yeah.
There was inexperience there and naivety. But then as it transpired, the overall recruitment was insufficient, and there's no real bite to that team. Like, I'm not saying it's a mirror of the Republic of Ireland senior side, but there's elements of can't trust them to get a result.
Yeah.
They had a load of injury problems and then bought in the middle of the season and changed manager, and obviously, so they're...
they were like, that's the thing with Usher, is that he is proactive in spending the money that he has. So it's 1.4 million, which isn't a small amount necessarily at that level of the game. So he gets very defensive when people criticise, because he says, well, he's putting the finance in and he cares about the club. And I don't think people actually would dispute that element of a Cork City supporters. It's the lack of footballing expertise and the repeated mistakes in recruitment is the frustration.
So bad night for Cork City last night. Obviously an incredible night for Pico Lopez, who's going to the World Cup. He's
Unbelievable.
the only Irishman of his generation who is going to play in the World Cup.
Was it like the first man born after Italian 90 to play at a World Cup?
From Ireland.
Yeah.
Hasn't done it yet, obviously.
Hopefully he doesn't get injured or anything. Yeah.
Well, he's going to the World Cup, and no one else in that generation.
But he's qualified. He's qualified. On
they also walked that group. Like, in the end, they
3-0 last night. Yeah,
totally walked.
He was holding up a novelty ticket to the World Cup last night. On the back page of the Irish Independent here, actually. And it's handy too, because it gives the dates of the World Cup, which I didn't know. The 11th of June to the 19th of July next summer.
I haven't got to confess, I haven't actually looked at those days yet in any way. Like, I need to plan around this or to concern myself with this too much.
Three countries over a month. So there's the second smallest countries qualified for the World Cup. Smallest being?
Ever.
Yeah. So the second smallest country ever. So the population of 550,000, I think.
Probably Iceland, then.
Iceland, 2018.
Iceland, yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
So huge. Brilliant for Pico Lopez.
Yeah.
And he'll probably come back to a double.
Was Hamer involved in 2018?
I think he was in charge for 2018. I don't think he was in charge the first time. In 2016, he was like co-manager.
He was part of the staff for sure at 16.
Yeah.
I think 18 they had a very disappointing World Cup, if I recall.
Yeah, I think he was
that was the end of their era.
solely in charge then, I think.
All right, so
Sole manager after 2016 until 2018, yeah.
So he picked up on the momentum and
got them to a World Cup.
Fizzled out, you know.
Yeah,
them to a World Cup.
he did get them there, yeah.
Yeah.
We'd take that.
Yeah. After the back off, yeah.
Fizzling out at a tournament at this stage.
Yeah.
That's
Nice, great.
totally
Nice flying. Keep him there for life. Job for life.
lifetime contract.
Yeah.
He's clearly shown it again and again in his career thereafter.
Yeah.
Look at Jamaica now.
So our boys up north performed well last night.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
There's ways of losing 1-0, isn't there?
There's ways of losing 1-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I was very, very much on the after the game on Saturday. Like, do you know what? I actually don't like. We lose 1-0. That's fine. I had no issue with the performance, the way we played. I was like, you want your outlet, your outlet to actually be a bit of an outlet, maybe more so than they were at the weekend going forward. But I was totally kind of content with, look, you go, you defend for 90 odd minutes, you get a 0-0 draw. Ideally, obviously that didn't happen, but I wasn't totally upset with how we performed. But then you watch Northern Ireland last night and you're like, yeah, do you know what, you wouldn't mind a few passes and a tiny bit of sustained pressure at some point. But yeah, they weren't bad. There's something, I don't know, the big thing that jumped out with me is just that the Northern Ireland players last night just, I don't know if fear is the right word, but they don't play with that sense of fear that sometimes I get off our players, especially when they kind of end up in a position high up the pitch and there's an opportunity maybe to get a shot off or to try play an incisive pass, and they turn that opportunity down just in a moment of hesitation and sort of take a shot when the opportunity's passed and it gets blocked. Malumbi at the end of the game the other night, like, just kind of taking that extra touch. The Northern Ireland players last night, like, they're not afraid to try jump past a man. Like, Galbraith gave the ball away a couple of times last night, but he kept going at it. He didn't kind of knock him back or anything, and he had a shot towards the end of the game that and another night maybe could have tested a goalkeeper. But no, they were very impressive, and I suppose they have the mark of a team that you wouldn't mind seeing some elements in our own play, and there's no reason for them elements not to be in our own play either.
There are striking resemblances to our own defeat, right, on paper. It was 1-0 against the big country. The goal scorer scored his first goal for said country. Voltemada last night, Newcastle's finest. They should have won by more. So Adeyemi's through on goal early in the second half, puts it wide, like Portugal, missing their chances. But the difference is in the detail. And it was the way that Northern Ireland were passing the ball around with genuine confidence, very much like two-touch progressive training ground play that they've transferred onto the pitch. And it's certainly something that we're severely lacking on the ball. I look at us when we're on the ball like a minnow, like a proper minnow. Like I'm talking like San Marino level of, like, if we string 4 passes together, I'm saying out loud to my TV, well done, lads.
It gets mentioned the next morning.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, it gets mentioned live in real time in commentary. It's like,
this is
well there.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
We're very, very comfortable in defensive midfield back, as we were saying yesterday. You can pass around there all day long, no bother. We can zip it, actually. But when we get any way progressive, not even to their half, even just approaching our halfway line, we get a bit antsy. Last night, watching the North do it, it was a different story altogether. And it was all our favourites that we mentioned yesterday. It was all the boys: Galbraith, McCann, Charles, Price, Reid. They were the starters for Northern Ireland in the top half of the pitch.
Yeah.
Nothing to be fearful about in terms of the Republic of Ireland when it comes to production of applays. But
well, they're midfielders though, right? Shea Charles.
Yeah, Shea Charles is a very good player.
Ethan Galbraith.
As is Galbraith.
Justin Devaney. They're midfielders who are. Would we take all 3 of those?
Well, really good. I mean, so
they're not superstars.
Yeah, but that's,
you know what I mean?
They're not. They're not playing for huge clubs.
We weren't talking about them a month or 2 ago. You know what I mean? Like, geez, that Northern
squad.
squad.
Attention to Northern Ireland,
but like in general, nobody was. You know, it's not like Gareth Bale coming through or something in Wales.
Exactly.
It's like, oh well, look, that explains
it. Unicorn though. Like, is there a possibility that those 3 are all actually better than what we have?
No, I would.
Josh Cullen plays in the Premier League.
Loads of players play in the Premier League who aren't better than players in the Championship because they haven't got to that stage yet.
Not loads.
He's at a stage of his career where he's been at that club for a long period of time and gone down and come up and gone down and come up, and no one would ever say he's a nailed-on Premier League player. No other Premier League team has come and gone, ooh, we're scooping you because you're top quality. You're one of the top. I'd
say it's fairly likely that by the time Shea Charles and Ethan Galbraith are the same age as Josh Cullen is now, that they'll have. They'd be widely regarded as better players than he was at that age. Like, I mean, like Shea Charles came through at Manchester City, Ethan Galbraith came through at Manchester United. Like, they've dropped down the leagues and they're getting game time at a younger age. Or maybe we wish some of our players were doing. Like, I mean, I think Southampton spent the guts of 10 million on Shea Charles. Like, when they were in the Premier League. So like, there's a good chance that these players are better than ours. Like, yeah, for sure. But they're not. But it's not an excuse for our players to be playing as bad as they are.
We could debate the merits of who's better than who individually. But the whole point is the way that they play football.
Yeah,
it is different.
I suppose my point for bringing that up is actually the transformative impact of having 3 ball-playing midfielders versus we have 1 who's a ball-playing midfielder, and then we have workhorses who are going to run all day for you. But actually, if those 2 were good on the ball, if Malumbi and Knight were ball players as opposed to water carriers, then perhaps we might be able to do that.
Yeah, maybe, but even if you have ball players at the level that the Northern Irish players are playing, you will be limited in your impact against the likes of Germany, or you should be.
You can't just be a ball player.
They weren't, you know.
It's a mentality thing. Like, it's not just it's not an ability thing solely. It's not like they're exceptional footballers compared to what they were up against. I think you're spot on.
So give Michael O'Neill the Ireland job.
Well, I don't know.
We wouldn't get him.
But
he would be mad to take it. He'd be mad to take it. This is the thing as well. Like, they actually look like they know what they're doing as well, which is another side to it. Like, obviously you've got the ability side of it, you got the mentality side of it, but they actually, like, they go out on the pitch and they look like they, in every element of what they do, whether it be their set pieces weren't great last night, but they look like they have a plan for every element of the game, like, you know, and every eventuality. They kind of have an idea what they're going to do here. And obviously we're talking about them as if they've won. They did lose last night in the same. We did also lose the other night, but it's just as you said, in these circumstances, there probably is a way. There's a better way of losing, I think, sometimes.
Well, I'll give you what the internet tells me about Michael O'Neill's salary over the last 10 years. Any interest in this?
Yeah.
Loads.
2016, it was reported that his salary was 500 sterling in 2016.
500 sterling?
500 grand.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry.
Big numbers now.
After he qualified, there was a report that he was going to be offered a new deal. Initially, the reports were a 4-year deal worth 500 grand, like 2 million over 4 years. That's good money. But then there was a report in the Belfast Telegraph which said it was going to be $1 million a year, sterling, which was dismissed. At which point Stoke City came in and had to buy him out of his contract. They paid 650 grand to the IFA, and the deal was worth anything between $1 million and $1.5 million a year to sign for Stoke in 2019. So you can see why these managers want a championship job.
Yeah, I think that went too well for him.
No, but the compensation would have been okay.
I suppose he was. Yeah, he wasn't getting championship jobs before that. I don't know what's the point with that. Like just of interest, or like we couldn't afford him. No, we couldn't now, but we were at the same time that they were paying Michael O'Neill $500,000. We were paying Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane God knows what.
Yeah,
so like we could afford. Well, we made an awful lot of wrong decisions.
We weren't paying that money. Dennis O'Brien was paying that money.
But you know what I mean. Like I'm not sure where their money's coming from either. Like they have a very small ground. They were, relatively speaking, there's only 17,000 in there, I think, last night. So it's not like they're flush with cash themselves in terms of finding it. So I don't know what their situation is with that. But it's not. It's not like we haven't had that money there and just spurned it time and time again. Sure, look. Okay, good for them.
Yeah.
So your points are that a good quality manager is what's the reason?
I think so
for this.
I wouldn't say solely, but it's there's definitely a discrepancy there between the quality of our manager and the quality of their manager. I'd say, yeah.
It's been a problem for a while though. It goes before Hamer Hagrimson's time.
Yeah.
Just I don't think he's managed to improve it, but like Stephen Kenny tried to get us playing ball. That was his thing, like trying to get us to play football, and we couldn't or we didn't, one or the other. And before that, then you would have an era of managers who were backed by having a significant CV, who were results driven. In Martin O'Neill and Giovanni Trapattoni. So I don't know if it's not this one individual manager's fault, Hamer Hagrimson. I think he's just part of this. He's overseeing an era of underwhelm, I would say. He's the latest. But I don't buy the argument that some people have given up altogether, the fatalists here, saying that, like, well, there's no manager can fix this. Like, it's just a generation of players.
That's ridiculous.
It's not true. I mean... And if that is true, well, then we'll just pack it in, like just forfeit all your games. Yeah. So you gotta, there's something there, like there's something obviously that we can do better that we're not. And I think those comparisons are very justified, like with the North and with Wales, and to a lesser degree with Scotland. But Scotland was one of those sides that we beat well in a very rare occurrence 3 years ago. Now they have the same manager and largely the same players. So again, on our day, you can do something, but look at where Scotland are and look at where Ireland are. So something fundamentally has gone wrong here in the development of our team.
Yeah,
it does feel that way. It just when you watch that last night, you're like, Jesus, like this is not like Bailey Peacock Farrelling goals. Like our goalkeeper streets ahead in terms of thinking. You're looking at all these different little bits and pieces, like, but the sum of their individual parts is just so good.
Above, yeah.
And they've it all figured out what you're saying. Everything's to a T. Everything is kind of, and all the emotional and stuff and all that's great to see as well. But they're such a smart wee team. Like, I just nice. I don't know. It's just it's awful grim. Then when you're like, oh, you're the manager coming out this week saying, oh, I'd take a scrappy 1-0. It's all that matters. It's like, yeah, it does, but.
It does.
It's a shame that's where you are.
Can we not have
Because hang on, Stephen Kenny talked about playing differently and everybody hammered him.
Stephen Kenny got it wrong.
But so you can't have everything here. You can't say
I don't want everything. I just want something.
I want the manager to have some ambition and tell us that he wants to have some ambition. When the manager does that and it doesn't work,
I don't want the manager coming out.
This is a disaster. He's overwhelmed. He can't do this.
I don't want the manager coming out at home to Armenia going, we'll take a scrappy 1-0 because
that's
we're
the reality.
Because we're so beleaguered because of the situation that he's overseeing.
He doesn't need to say it though.
Well.
He doesn't need to say anything about how we're going to win. He just says we just need to go and win. He doesn't need to preface whether it's going to be a beautiful or wonderful or a nasty win. Like,
I'm not expecting like super football. I just like don't be going in with that mind frame. oh lads, just hunker down, we'll be lucky to get out of this, get the goal, let's get out of here.
But
It's like we're at home.
But a lot of people go in with that mindset. Most fans do.
I don't mind that internally, and it's a fine result.
Yeah,
but don't be coming out with
So
it.
we are requesting an element of delusion. We are requesting it from the manager.
Just have a little bit of oomph about
Which
you.
I don't think is a problem.
A little bit of confidence.
I think that's good. Like, having said all this, like, I do think we'll get the job done tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think we'll do it. Like,
I don't know.
2 more years.
What's the? Where's your evidence for that? Where's your evidence for that? As Dunphy would ask.
because we can beat teams of that level, which we have proven earlier this year. We can do that.
Yeah, we beat Armenia 3-2, and it was a complete fluke. We hammered them. It went up 2-0.
The manager himself saying this would probably be fluke if he win.
You were saying to Vinny yesterday about what was our kind of discourse around the time we were beating Bulgaria and Finland and that, and the first thing that came to my head was, well, the way I was thinking, okay, right, we're beating the teams that on paper we should be beating now, which is why I think we got that sense of hope before the Hungary game, because we were like, okay, look, we might be able to get something out of Hungary here. And we've shown that we can beat teams like Armenia. And I think that's actually what contributed to how disappointed and frustrated everyone was when we did have that, like, disaster in Armenia. So, like, there is some form of evidence there that we can beat a team in Armenia's level, albeit in a game. Like, we should be beating teams like Armenia. Like, come on. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, my point. Yeah, the point. The evidence is in us beating Bulgaria and Finland twice in those games. But like, there's also, as you say, new evidence came
to light,
and we did lose to Armenia. But like, we should be beating Armenia.
They're equally motivated as us. Like, so if they win, they're on 6 points, and then suddenly their first ever World Cup is on the horizon.
Yeah,
you know, themselves and Cape Verde,
for sure,
celebrating together.
For sure. Yeah,
so like,
what a crossover!
This is a crossover no one asked for. We're going to get it. Like,
I'd watch it. Yeah, for sure.
So they're motivated and they know they can do it. So like,
100%.
Off the ball breakfast in Yerevan this morning, it's confident. You know, very confident. But I expect us to do it, and you know, I'm going to stick with the prediction because I was thinking Portugal they'll be close to the end. So I'm going to say for this, Armenia will be close to us till the end. But I think we'll do it.
So, sorry, a 94th minute scratchy winner.
Could be late, yeah. I think it's going to be late. I'll say 1-0 or 2-1 to Ireland tonight.
A clean sheet would be very impressive.
It would be rare, yeah. But, you know, a clean sheet will happen at some point, and it could be tonight.
Yeah, 0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if it does play out, if it plays out right how we're anticipating here, and we do pick up a win tonight, and Portugal do the business, we're going into the last 2 games and we're like, you know, we're level with Hungary, you know, all we're looking for is a cagey point against an already qualified Portugal.
It's interesting, and it changes very quickly.
And
totally, yeah.
And then we're in Budapest, and all we really wanted at the start of this was to have a fighting chance in Budapest.
Yeah.
So
here's my question.
So you could say job done, give the man another 2 years. That's what you're saying.
For all of you, right? The first half an hour tomorrow morning on the show, from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, what will require tonight to happen for it to be a unanimously positive discussion?
I think if we win,
Portugal need to hammer.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. Portugal need to hammer Hungary in advance.
Okay,
and then we need to be
in terms of
3-0 win.
3-0. You're talking 3-0, and what are you talking?
A 2-0 win where we play well.
Good football, good goals. Well controlled.
No, I know what?
Saying tomorrow morning, that's more like it.
Sorry, everybody having a clear understanding of what the job is. So there's none of this. You're supposed to go there, and I'm standing here, and how did he get past you? Like just everybody moving in the style of some of the teams that we've seen, like Northern Ireland. Like, you know, good performances from everybody understanding what their role is.
Okay, and to get there, what team would we be picking here tonight?
Personally, you've heard me say
you want to pick
largely the same team.
You have to make a call yourself for Josh Cullen.
One change, so I don't know.
You go small Will Bunn?
I probably would, yeah. I mean, not massively confident that that's like for like, but my whole point with that team is that you're actually getting Nathan Collins essentially to play as a midfielder when we have the ball.
Okay.
And when we don't have the ball, you're dropping back, and we're going to hit them on the break because we're good at that.
Okay. So you're largely the same, bar
really.
one.
I'm being unsure.
How do you get good at stuff?
Yeah, but I'm not. It's not. I'm not trying to constantly be cynical about it. But
okay, pick your team.
Are we good at it?
Pick your team.
I can't pick my team because I have no idea what team would play even if I picked them.
What do you
I have
mean?
no idea what way they'll play. Like, it's all fine in theory, but like, it doesn't pan out.
Theoretically, pick a team
But
first.
it's not. I'm not picking the same team away to Portugal as at home to Armenia.
Grant, obviously you are doing something different from me. That's how opinions
for
differ.
sure.
That's why we have betting markets. People think different outcomes are likely. So what team would you pick?
I don't know what team I'll pick. Like, it'll. There's only so much variables it can have in it. Like, it'll be the same sort of.
So give us a shape.
You'll probably. It should be some semblance of 4-3-3.
Okay, who are your three in midfield?
At the moment, it's going to have to be Wilbon who comes small. Small bone.
It's rubbing off.
You're going to have to play Malumbi because Cullen's out disastrously. But who'll be the third man in midfield? If Knight's out, I suppose we're not.
They call in Coventry. I'll play him, but he's not going to play.
Like, you could have someone a bit more. I mean, do you put?
I think he might.
I would play him.
I think he might pick him. I think it's one of those situations where it's like, I have this guy and my next guy is the next guy in. I don't need him in the squad.
Well, he's shown he's done that. He did have Malumbi, but I would.
Malumbi obviously way more experienced, but
yeah, of course, yeah.
Sorry, okay, so
Taylor's a bit of a liability. I
wouldn't be starting Jack Taylor, not after the Armenia game.
Can you put his ass in there?
Jack Taylor hasn't played a minute for his club since that Armenia game. So I would absolutely not be throwing him into the team. Maybe bring him on if you need, but like, no way. No.
So who are your front three?
You're probably, just for legs alone, you'll put it Ogbene. Don't think he's particularly good on the ball, but he's very quick. Ferguson. I'd leave off Parrott. And on the left, so who was on there was no left. This was the last day. So you have Johnson
you'd Festi.
No, you can't play both. No.
Yeah,
there's not enough quality. Johnson.
Come back in.
Saz, yeah, I don't know. Whatever of them he feels has a little bit more of a technical ability or a killer ball.
And is Seamus Coleman playing right back or is Jacob Bryan?
It depends on how fit he is. If he's fit, fine, absolutely throw him in. If he's dust after last week, then there's nothing you can do about that.
Jacob Bryan drop
37. He's fine. Jacob Bryan, I think it's fine. He's a fine player. Like, I don't. If you have him in there for the long throws that don't reach very long, grand, if you want to do that, as he seems want to do, but he's fine. Like, he's not a game changer.
I'd probably keep the 5.
With respect to him,
probably keep the 5. I'd play Coleman. If you don't think he's fit enough, I'd play Festi in that same position, and then I'd start Coventry Malumbi, small bone,
yeah,
and then I would probably play
5-3-2.
Yeah, Ferguson and one other.
Parrott.
Maybe Parrott. Yeah, probably if Parrott's fit, play him. If not, I'd probably just throw Mikey Johnson in there, to be honest, as opposed to Ogbene. I think Ogbene would be better coming off the bench. I don't want Johnson. I wouldn't play Johnson against Portugal. I'd play him in a game like this, though. He just has that bit of something.
Colm?
4-4-2.
Yeah.
I go Seamus, Ryan Manning. I go Jacob Ryan and Nathan Collins. It's just me. It's not going to happen.
Dropping Darragh.
He's not going to get dropped.
Yeah, that would also be fine.
I'd have I'd have Smallbone, and I'd have Malumbi, and then I'd have Festi and Chiadoze.
2 wingers.
And I'd have Parrott and Ferguson.
Right.
but they ran through the middle of us last day.
We didn't actually commit enough, I think, the last time.
But with only those two in there, you'd get overrun, wouldn't you?
I think the midfield is a danger no matter what you do.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and negate it.
just ignore it, like.
just cede control of it.
I'll have a private team talk when the two boys are in the back. Yeah.
You're going to get killed there, but
don't pass it to them. Yeah. No. I think Smallbone's a good player, and I thought Malumbi had a fine game against Portugal. I thought he was very good. But Malumbi in a game against Armenia at home is the one where I don't know if it suits him as well. But because of numbers, it's a numbers game here.
But Parrott and or Ferguson are going to be an extra body in there.
Yeah, totally. I think they'll drop in. And also I have the option here of bringing on Azaz and Johnston and mixing up the system if I need to, if the 4-4-2 is not working. And a very, very angry Adam Ida could come on.
Yeah, I don't know why people were saying I'm not going to name who it was, but it was. Right, bang on 8 o'clock. Carl Denny is standing by to talk to us about the juiced games and the enhanced.
Should we call it? That's good.
Off-ball breakfasts with UPMC Orthopedic Care. When things don't move, rotate, or bend like they used to, choose us to help get back in action. Quick round table for predictions.
I did it.
1-0 late.
1-0 or 2-1. Yeah.
2-0.
I think another 3-2 classic, but what do I know?
2-1 or 2-0
to the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I just don't think Armenia are that good. Like, it's not, no disrespect to them, but like
they've got what they need now.
To come and win, to come and do the double overs would be some going, to be fair to them. As bad as we are.